After years and years of working non-stop and this and that, it feels odd. You have to reinvent yourself. You know.
And you did. Hey guys, this is Pete Koch. I'm back again with Matthias Hues. This is going to be our
Thanks for
part
having
2.
us. Thank you.
And we're just going to pick up where we started last time. If you hadn't seen that, I'll create a link. You can go back and watch
seen it,
part
you're
1.
crazy.
You missed a lot. This Pete Koch Breaking It Down. Don't go away. Hey guys, Pete Koch sitting here with old friend Matthias Hues, my big buddy, and this is part 2. So part 1, again, I'm going to link to that. You need to check that out, and we appreciate comments as we go. The first part of this interview, and by the way, welcome. Good to see you again.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me again. I love coming back to you, Pete. We haven't even touched most of the things yet.
Well, what happened in our first interview, we really were breaking it down in terms of bodybuilding and training, and that's a subject that both of us are really passionate
Absolutely,
about.
very passionate. So it wasn't about me, which is so Hollywood. It was about us.
However, now that we've established that, you've had an amazing run as an actor internationally, and you're so modest about this, but I'm going to break it down just a little bit for the folks. Some of the things that you've accomplished since you've been a professional actor, we're going back to the mid-'80s now, and you have worked and in a variety of roles, in a variety of languages, in a variety of countries around, and continents around the world. There's not many actors that can say that.
I was lucky.
Quite a journey.
Way. Maybe because I'm German. It has a little bit to do with that, because you come from a different background, you speak different languages. I lived in France, I'm German, so I'm close to other countries that way. Maybe that has something to do with it.
What languages do you speak?
Not too many, but I speak French, I speak English. French not fluent anymore, but I was fluent. English, obviously. Russian, when I work in Russia, I do speak a little. I memorize it and I know how to deliver it. It's not like I'm fluent in Russian. But you assimilate, you adjust to things that way, you know. It just works everywhere.
Have you, what languages have you acted with?
Well, in all those
all those languages.
Yeah.
So you've been cast in roles and speaking French.
Yeah, but where was that? I forgot.
Well, think about that. How many actors are there that? I mean, you've got my buddy Benicio del Toro is.
Oh, I started out with him.
Has a massive audience because he's fluent but this is really important, and I've discussed this with Benicio, and he said this is why it's worked to his benefit, because he has a perfect or flawless accent in both English and Spanish. So there's a difference between
huge difference.
Some Spanish actors that can speak English, but it's accented versus.
Yeah, you're so smart for bringing this up. It's accented. So Selma Hayek, for instance, will always, not to put this down, but will always
Perfect
be Selma Hayek. And then there's people like Benicio del Toro, who are
Penelope Cruz, and this, right? You think of these.
There will always be that type of Spanish, Hispanic people. There's nothing wrong with it.
And I've talked to people about Jennifer Lopez, and
who's American.
Right,
still Spanish.
But her,
so great.
but her Spanish has not. I don't speak Spanish, so I don't hear it. But to my Spanish-speaking friends, she speaks Spanish with an accent.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes,
interesting.
And so that's why she doesn't have the same credibility in Spanish speaking.
It's definitely an advantage if you. So, and I just had talked to my girlfriend about this morning, and to you, we had that conversation. That so I'm planning on jumping across the Atlantic and go to Germany and do some German films and television as well, which I have done, by the way. So because I'm German.
Yes, we know.
You know what I mean? I can do that, so that's big.
Is that exciting to you to get back to Germany?
Oh my God, you cannot imagine. It's like going back. It's really crazy because you're only interesting to people in your own country if you come from another country.
I see.
Do you know what I mean? Hollywood has such a huge stigma abroad that anything from Hollywood must be worth it. It's great, but they're right. because
hold it. Does this explain why we get so many European, particularly British actors that come here? They come here to get cred.
Yeah, because you make it here, you made it in the world. That's how it is.
That's it.
That's it. You can be the biggest Spanish. I go to let's just say I go to Moscow, and this is really ironic. So I'm there, a Ritz-Carlton, whatever, and then someone comes up and says, "Oh, Matthias, this is the most famous Russian so-and-so," and I'm like, good. So I meet a Russian famous person. That's very interesting, but it doesn't have the same effect as, oh, there's Angelina Jolie. You know what I mean? Or Brad Pitt, because the whole world knows who they are. Yeah. So that's United States just has that type of power when it comes to entertainment business.
There, and just to hear from your, I always learn from you, and to hear from your perspective as a German, that's good. But let me pull this around, and you do go back, and you worked with Benicio del Toro on with Pee Wee Herman.
Pee Wee Herman, yeah. We were both little nothings in this movie, but we were taken into the family by Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman, Chris Christopherson, Randall Kleiser, the director, Valeria Golino. Back then,
she was a star.
Oh, yeah, huge. And they took us in. So Benicio and myself, we were in the group. We were hanging out. It wasn't like, okay, you just there playing the wolf man, and you, what was I? Oh, I'm the lion tamer. No, it was like we were all one.
Benicio was Wolf Boy.
He was the Wolf Boy.
One of his first acting roles.
Can you imagine? I mean, he was hardly recognizable, to be honest. From that role to go to
winning the Academy Award and the Golden Globe and BAFTA.
Only in America. Only in America.
But that's where you were at that time in your career, and it just works that way sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's what's so exciting when you show up on a movie set and you might have a really pivotal role or a very, very small role, and then you look around and you never ever know the folks you're working with where they're going to end up down the road.
No, it's never the size of the role in what movie you're in. It's just being in the movie with that people. I have to say, you have to work it, so you can't just be in one film with some people. You have to be in that group. You have to know how to work your way in. This is a long career we're looking at. We're looking at 3 decades of figuring out how to get to the next level. And it doesn't always work out, so you can't give up. You have to figure out another way to get there. It's never ending unless you end it. Look at Mickey Rourke or endless subjects of people that fall off, Don Jones and whatever. And then
John Travolta. And then Pulp Fiction brought him back.
Yeah. Boom, you come out, no one even sees it coming. You don't even see it coming yourself. And then if it's there, you grab it, you run with it. You make sure you'll never stop working. Never say no. That's the secret, be a workhorse.
Just to go a little bit chronologically through your career, and tell me where this movie fit into Pee-wee's, Big Top Pee-wee, and then there was no retreat, no surrender 2.
Yeah, that's...
Was that next?
That was first. That was first.
Tell us a little bit about that.
That was, luck. Right place, right time. And it's not as easy. It's like, so you have an idea, it's a nucleus, and that you have to push forward, make it an atom, neutrons, protons, atom creates form. So it's one step, next step, first it's the thought, then you execution it. You're the executioner, and you end up being in America, where everyone says, "Oh, you crazy? Well, you're just a guy from Germany, You're not Brad Pitt looking. You're just a guy, some muscles, what the hell?" And you have to think. It doesn't matter what you think. I think I'm going to make it. So I ended up being in LA against all odds, in the Valley. But I went to our friend at Gold's Gym. Derek Barton. Sorry, that I didn't said your name right away. You were such a great figure in my life, Derek. If you listen to it, I owe it all to you.
And Derek was the director of media relations and public
at Gold's Gym.
At Gold's Gym, yeah.
And you could go to him, and I knew that, and I went there, and I said, I want to be an actor, and I thought about ridicule and laughter like everyone else, and he took me seriously, and he got a phone call, from a producer, as Jean-Claude walked off a movie set. They needed to replace him. They were looking for an European, and he said, there's this guy from Germany. So I got the job. Long story short. that's how it started. And there
we pushed this along a little bit. Later on, you were had a pivotal role in Star Trek.
Star Trek, not so pivotal.
Less than pivotal role in Star Trek.
For Star Trek people, pivotal. For regular people, not so.
Which
pivotal.
Star Trek was it?
6.
6.
So I was working only 3
go.
weeks on a movie that was shot for 6 months. So you can imagine how much I'm in it.
Yeah.
But I'm with Christopher Plummer. I'm on the bird of prey. I walk around. I'm like, I grew up with Starship. Next thing you know, I'm in it. I'm walking it. And I'm in the ship. So that's huge. So I'm not.
I must have been
Yeah,
mind.
I mean, you're a German little boy
Yeah.
watching it at home. Star Trek Enterprise. Next thing you're in the Star Trek.
But where does
Bird of prey.
And then I think the role you're known for a lot of roles, but I Come in Peace.
Yeah, you could have got that. Anyone could have gotten that. Who would have walked?
I remember when you got cast in it.
Yeah.
Me and all the guys that
got
were in our category were like, "Dang,
How
he's
did
got
you know?
that one."
Yeah.
I didn't get in on it.
And it's about that, getting in on it. It's not you gets you in on it. It's hopefully your manager, agent. Someone's got to get you in on it. And I got in on it. He didn't get in on it. And guess what? The breakdown was. Professional athlete, 6'5" or 6'6", can jump and run like no one else, has to do all his own stunts. So they weren't looking at actors. They were looking at athletes.
Yeah.
Koch, myself. There's not that many that can go in to do this. He would have been one of the few I can even think of. Then Jay Bias, professional basketball player, 6'7", can jump like a basketball player. So we both got the job. That's our time. We got the job. Just so you know how it goes. Did you read for Hercules?
No.
The TV series. Unbelievable that Koch didn't read for it. I can't even believe it. Fabio read for it. Dean Cain, Lou Ferrigno, myself, Kevin Zobo. I got the role actually before Kevin. I signed a contract. Believe it or not.
Didn't know that.
Oh yeah. And for 3 Hercules movies, the money, everything's set. I signed the contract, but later I found out they make everyone sign a contract to hold you, and then they figure out which is the better one. So Kevin Sobo got it. Lou Ferrigno and me, we were, one of those in the role. You could have been one of those. It's who pushes you, who sends you out for this. At that time, I had strong representation. And then you just got to get it. So Kevin gets it. Kevin Zobo, wonderful actor and athlete also.
Great guy,
too.
Yeah, really good guy.
Nicest guy. Couldn't get anyone nicer. So he runs with that 6 years. What a success.
Great run at the Hercules TV series ran for years.
So unbelievable. That's how our life is. It's like, how do you get in and how do you grab it? Someone will grab it. One of us. It's always one of us. It's never the other guy because they won't be right for it.
But you work in all these international projects, and again, like you said, it's because of what's to your benefit is that you are European, you speak multiple languages, you are known in Europe in a different way than just straight Hollywood folks. I've worked out of the country only in Canada and Mexico, so that's
still interesting.
Yeah.
Right.
But do you have representation? Is that necessary to have international representation?
I never had it. It's just I got lucky enough that people call me from these countries because knowing of the fact that I'm German, or I just got a call and I did a movie in Australia with Nicholas Waldo from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
The blonde guy.
He's great.
Yeah.
Oh, he's great. He's on
so
top.
He's on top. And while I shoot this movie, he wasn't on Game of Thrones. And the blonde girl in it, Birgit, she's in Game of Thrones, and the other guy, Nicholas, also his name, he works in all the big movies with Harrison Ford and all this. He's way on top. So long story short, they live in Denmark. And they never left Denmark. They never even went to LA. And they are an international big production. So
I say Denmark. What do you say?
Denmark.
You sounded funny.
Denmark is how I would say it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was
How
trying
do you say it?
Denmark.
That's the way.
Is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
No, it's kind of nice the way the Europeans say that.
Yeah,
Denmark.
Denmark. Yeah.
So these are European actors
who now make it in Hollywood without
Incredible.
ever putting a foot into this country. Ever.
By virtue of their product being on HBO.
By I don't know. Okay, so
But it's all European productions, correct?
it's European production. So Nicholas Waldau, for instance, the blonde knight on Game of Thrones, the key figure, one of the key figures, the brother of the queen, he is a Danish star, television star, movie star. So he represents Denmark, he represents Europe. So all these shows are being cast in London.
Okay.
And the Londoners call the European countries and say, guys, we're looking for a guy like that. And then the Danskes, the Danish, say, we got this guy. You know, and then have a look at it. And then, oh, that's a good-looking Danish man who can act. And his English is impeccable, obviously,
Yes.
right? Yeah. That's minimum, by the way. If you can't speak English, intercontinental English, not American English, just English without an accent, then you're in.
Are you ever called on, or have you been called on, to deliver, along those lines, a perfect American English?
No, they know.
Can you do it?
I can't do it. No.
I actually read on the internet that you are considered to have a very reasonably good working, actory American accent.
Enough to work as an
Okay.
American, yeah, but not like a Southern drawl. You know what I mean?
Or to play a guy from Kansas City.
I don't think this is ever going to happen. I can play a guy that walks around, you know, like speaking the way I mean, just, but not necessarily that type. So you won't find me in Outlander. What's that new television?
Sure.
You
Yeah.
won't find me in that.
Okay.
Yeah. You know.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. But
And
you'll find me in Game
why
of
the,
Thrones.
By the way, why are the British actors so good at that?
The British actors, it's a fab. So the fab, right? Am I saying this right?
Fad?
Fad. Like something modern, hip,
It's
desirable.
temporarily.
For now.
Yes, more than
or
a fad.
many years, yeah. Because Gladiator 300.
I'm so sick of these British actors and Australians taking all the good parts.
All the sandals.
Hey,
sandals.
I mean, it's a Brit place. What's the most American character in history? Superman, and it's a Brit.
Nothing against Britain. God bless. The
But he's
Queen.
good.
But they're taking our work
Yeah.
because they sound more educated or better or clever. It's only a sound, guys. It's not what they are.
But it's a product of their training.
It's a product of their training. It's considered Shakespearean. It's considered theater. I understand it, but we are tired of getting our jobs stolen by you Grant type.
Yeah.
You know,
Russell
voices.
Crowe. Yeah.
They,
On and
they're
on.
all amazing. I'm not knocking them. They have amazing voices and they know how to, you know, deliver it, and it gets there. And I like it. I like to listen to it. But
Can I tell you a story real quick along these lines? I had
Yeah.
this conversation with Del Toro, and he said, I don't want to speak for him. I want to be careful here. I'm just going to give you my interpretation of a conversation that I had with him, who has worked with many British actors and wonderful British and Australian actors that are friends of his. He said that in general terms, that British and Australian actors are extraordinary technicians. They're great actors, but they're very good at listening
says it all.
listening to direction and delivering upon the direction that they've been offered. Contrast that with some American actors who bring their own opinions, very deep opinions and biases, and their training and much more diverse sorts of training that comes out of the United States. You could be Stanislavski, you could be Meisner. There's all different sorts of trainings here. And versus the Brit is a product in a sense of the training that is 100% reliable, and it doesn't give much pushback. Versus American actors, especially the ones that have reached a level of prestige, they want to bring their own strong opinions to the roles, and some directors don't want that. They would prefer to go with the British or Australian actor.
You just said it. You couldn't have said it any better.
That's it. I think that's something to do
That's
with
it.
Big
That
Pharma.
has something to do with it. That's a fact. It's easier to work with a British actor if you want to control the situation of that particular story and the way you want it to be delivered, versus Breaking Bad type.
There you go.
renegades.
What is there anything you're working on right now coming up that you want to share with our audience? And also tell the folks if they want to get a hold of you, how they can do that.
Can't.
You can't tell. Sometimes you can't tell what you're working on.
No. You can't get a hold of me, that's for sure. No, Facebook, Instagram, we all have the same venues. It's fantastic. We can communicate, and I do. I do communicate with everyone.
Hit them up.
Hit me up, for sure.
Okay.
What do I have to offer? What's coming out? Great movie, Maximum Impact, with Dennis Trejo, Kelly Yu, Tom Arnold, Alexander Nevsky, of course, a Russian movie star. That's one. Showdown Manila, Ultimate Justice. Fighting film is Mark Dacascos. Couple more things. Mark Dacascos.
Yes, my buddy from acting class. Yeah, we studied with Mark Dacascos.
Don't you like him?
He's a sweetheart. And his father was a champion kung fu master. Yeah.
Who we just worked together on a movie with. He was
that
coordinating the fights. He's a real tough guy. Many more things. So stay tuned. And working on my English accent. It's never going to happen. Awesome. Forget it.
Hey, if you like this interview, go ahead and give me a like and share this with your friends. Tell them about it. We appreciate that. It's just Matthias Hues. He's an amazing guy. He's a hell of a good guy. He's very, very humble, but he's had an important and possibly international career. It's worth checking out his movies. I Come in Peace. He's the guy behind all that started it. That's engraved in everybody's memory. So appreciate your time today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man.
Thanks again.
This is Pete Koch, Breaking It Down. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.